Who is having a hard time making money trading the future markets? Okay, if that is you, raise your hand. I know I can't see you, but leave a comment down below. Drop a quick comment. Let me know that, hey, I'm still to this day struggling. I don't understand. Basically what I'm looking at, maybe your biggest problem is not being able to see the flow of the market, meaning what's being painted, following market structure. You're going to have to be able to see, is the market trending to the upside, which if you take a look, what's been going on since the beginning part of the week, especially on Tuesday after the elections, the market has just been pushing hard to the upside. So, hopefully you were trading opportunities on pullbacks to key areas of demand, especially yesterday. There were a few opportunities. But, yes, trading supply and demand sometimes can be tough if the market is not coming back to an actual zone. So that's where you have to, look at other markets as well. So what I'm trying to say is that have a watch list. Maybe you're just trading one particular market. Maybe have a pair or two of what you're actually trading, 3 different markets. I like to look at the indices. I like to also look at, gold. But what I'm here to show you today is that if you're really interested in finding a good strategy, a way where you can consistently make money daily, watch the video watch the entire video. All right. But leave me a comment down below. Just let me know, what it is that you're actually maybe struggling with yourself. I mean, there's no shame. We all have started from somewhere. So maybe it's market structure. Maybe you have a psychology issue. Maybe, you understand market structure, but you just you don't have a solid strategy or a trading plan in which to trade with. There are lots of different things that come into play that, cause traders to struggle. So what I want to share with you today is just, like I always do, simple strategy. I know we have newcomers that come about all the time, but this strategy works if you are patient, okay? You will find opportunities. Sometimes you may find one, sometimes you may find 5 opportunities, but I'm not telling you to trade 5 setups. I like to trade between 1 to 2 setups on the day, okay, in the session or pre-market, and that's done. The more you spend time in these markets, the more or the higher the possibility is that you're actually going to maybe win one, and then the market's going to take back everything it gave you. So yesterday's trading session, just to take a look at it, I mean, we were just pushed to the upside. That was the 7th. That was Thursday. But if you pay close attention, we did get pullbacks to a couple of areas. We were above the VWAP. For all those that are curious to know what the VWAP is, it is the volume weighted average price indicator. And when the market is moving above and we're trending above it and it's below price, it typically likes to continue pushing higher as long as we're staying above it. So this was a push up right here, pull back, and market breaks higher. This was a demand zone. There was another demand zone resting right here just as well. So if you took this one here, say around 953, or this pullback here to around about 1030, what we normally do is we move down to a lower base chart to see if we can find confluence there off of the lower base chart. 24 range is what I trade off of when I'm moving down or scaling down from my 120R range chart down to a 24 range chart to see if we can find maybe a demand zone on the inside of this zone and one maybe on the inside of this zone here, okay? If not, then we're looking for some means of structure to be broken to the upside and the market to give us an opportunity on a pullback to go higher, okay? So yeah, there was, the market was chopping to the upside. There was a couple opportunities in which you could. So again, this was around 950. And again, this was around about 1030, 1035, somewhere in that time frame. But I'm going to show you an example right now of what I would look for on a solid, play-by-play opportunity to take a trade using my 120 and my 24 range. Now, this is if I was trading the NASDAQ, okay? Trade the NASDAQ on thinner markets, ones that move fairly quick. I would tend to use a higher base chart, the 120, and then take my entries off of my 24 range chart. So what you see here is towards the end of yesterday's trading session into today, the market was just building in areas of resistance above us here. Okay, yeah, we did push a little higher here, and it took out these highs here, but that's still built a buildup of resistance from the top end there. So then what happens is that on the bottom end just as well, we have support being built up. It pushed up, built this area of support below, okay, and then when the market came back, it pushed down, pulled back, broke lower into the overnight session, London, and then it took out this area structure here, and it took out this area structure right here just as well, okay? So those are breaker structures to the downside, all right? When the market is taking areas of structure out, higher or lower at the bottom end or top end of swings, those are structure breaks or breaker structures, okay? So pay attention to that, because I like to mark my zones back at an area where the market, or a zone where the market took structure out. Structure was taken out here on these lows here to the downside. So when we get a run to the downside here, it takes structure out. A run here to the downside. So we're taking out two lows here to the left. And these were areas where buyers were still trying to push higher. Buyers were pushing higher here. The market was still making higher highs and higher lows to the upside, but then it took out these lows here where buyers had stepped in to buy. Buyers have stepped in to buy. So sellers come in and take out these lows here and these lows here, this area structure being formed. If we get, like, say, this first area structure being taken out, I wouldn't just primarily be 100%, I guess assured in a sense that the market is going to push lower. In this case here, I typically like to see this right here take place. If the market is making higher highs and, say, I've shown this a million times, higher lows, okay? So we have an area here. There may be a support area right here where the structure at. The market makes its first low, right? And then it makes a lower high. So we have a high here, a lower high. The market hasn't taken out this high quite yet, but then when it breaks down, it confirms this lower high right here being formed, okay? But it also confirmed we made a new low. We got a low, lower high, a lower low, and we just took out this higher low right here, okay, on the way to the upside. So we took structure out here, okay, to the right side, and structure to the left side out just as well. So this is kind of confirmation that the market is trying to reverse and shift lower. But sometimes you may see where it may take out, say, two levels of structure to the downside, like right here and then right here. If it does that, then that's still showing, okay, we just took out two areas of structure to the downside. They may be trying to push lower. Now, we don't know that's going to always hold 100%, but what we can bet on almost is that, because trading is based on probability, it created this beautiful area of supply back to the downside. We got aggressive selling. That's what supply is. Taking out two areas of structure. So when it does that to the downside, I marked the zone up right here. This was an opportunity in which I took a trade earlier part today. It was around about 9:40, 9:45. After the market opens up. I don't take my trades right at 9:30 when the market opens. 15, 20 minutes after, maybe even 5 minutes, depending on how the movement of the market is actually, what's going on. But it pulled back to this key area of supply right here. I'm not taking a trade right off the 120 range chart. I'm moving down to my 24 range chart, and I'm just going to see, do we have a supply zone marked on the inside of this higher base 120 zone? So it's a zone within a zone. The reason why it helps us get into more of a more precise entry point. So when I'm doing this, if I can get one good solid trade set up a day on the NASDAQ and pick up 20, 25 points, I'm done, okay? Even trading one contract. I'm not saying trading one micro contract, but if you do, that's fine. Maybe you're still trying to build up, a small account. And I do recommend doing that, starting with the micros and building up an account that way. Even if you're trading prop firm and you have past your evaluations and you can build up an account to where you can take a payout, take your payout, and I'm suggesting this, and starting your own live trading or your live personal account with that. All right. So now, if you see we're on the 24 range chart, the lower time frame or lower base chart, where I take my entries at, there is a supply zone on the inside of the 120 range zone. That's confluence. When we get that type of confluence like that, then I'm interested in looking for an opportunity to go short. It pulls back, taps the zone, take the break in the close of the candle. All right. Maybe you got in aggressive right here at 226 right here. Or maybe you got on the break an actual close of the candle at 21,221. Okay, so I said 21,226, or more conservative. I'm sorry, the conservative route will be at 21,221. Sorry about that. And then when it breaks there, we're looking for the market to close gaps back down to the downside. There's a gap on this candle here, a gap on this candle here, a gap on this candle here, and possibly come back down to this area where there was a demand zone resting at. And as you can see, it did that. It came down. So if you got in here at 221, okay, and you could have rolled it all the way back down to here to 205, or at least to come back and fill this gap here at 210. If you did that from 221 and you picked up maybe 11, 10 points, and if you rolled it on down here, you probably possibly picked up, you know, your 20 points or so, whatever the case is. But the market actually kept on running lower than that. As you can see, it just pulled back, tested this area here now. Why? Because this now is a supply zone, but it is actually a low probability supply zone because there's no gap resting back at it. But still, the higher base chart is showing us as well that there was pressure to the downside right here. Okay, so and as you can see on the higher base chart, the rejection when took place in this area right here, back down to this small area of demand, pretty much right here to close, you know, the gap in this area here, or back down to this zone right here, is where you can take it back down. So again, the market tapped that higher base zone here at well, the zone was right here, but it pushed inside the zone there at 21,231, and it came all the way down to 21,161, 162 area. Nice little push to the downside that you could definitely take in a scalp for a trade there. Whether it's picking up 20, 30, 40 points right there, you could have definitely done so. But the stop is going to go where you place stop at. People always ask me that. Okay, once we get the rejection off the lower base zone there, and let's say you got into the trade here, your stop's going to go on the back end where the rejection took place at and which you took the trade from. Okay, if you took it aggressive at 226 or 221, either way, it goes back up here above 21,232. Give yourself some breathing room there, because as you can see, they came back and almost tested that area. But by then, you probably would have picked up your 10, 20, your 10 points, maybe 15 points right there. But it does give you that 20, 25 plus points as they continue pushing the downside. Because again, if we look over here at the higher base chart, it's projecting this area and it's coming back down to fill, gas back to the downside right here. So, be mindful of things like that. But that's what I want to show you today, is that taking setups like this, focus on the highest probability setups, okay? Especially ones like this right here. One, you get in one trade and you scalp it and you make a good amount of profit off of it, whether it's trading one contract with the E-minis or two contracts, then go ahead and close out shop for the day. Close the charts down. Don't keep taking trades after trades after trades, because even sometimes you may get a high probability setup and the market may just be ready to move the opposite direction, okay? We don't control the markets. We're trading based on the signals that the market is showing us, the confirmation, the confluence that it's giving us, and you have to trade based on that if you want to make money in the business. And close shop, okay? Some of the best opportunities I find come pre-market. Now, this one actually happened a few moments after the market opened up, and maybe you didn't get in right here after the market opened up, about 5 minutes after the market opened up. It gave you a second opportunity a couple minutes later, okay, and possibly even a third here. So you just have to be smart about the setups that you actually take, but use the higher base charts, okay, or even higher time frame charts to look for your opportunities, to take them at these bigger zones off of higher base charts, because you're going to get more rejection. There's going to be there's more power packed in this area here, especially when you got a gap back at that zone and the market is showing its hand where it's taking out structure, aggressive selling. Look for the short, okay? Even though we are been bullish to the upside, we are showing signs of weakness at the top here. And it shows where it started doing this aggressive selling and taking out structure to the left-hand side, okay? So look for those type things. But that's all I want to share with you guys today. I hope everyone has a fabulous weekend as we move into the holiday weekend, especially for all those that may have a 3-day weekend or 4-day weekend, whatever, wish everyone a great one. But if you're interested in more information, more content to where I break down trade setup after trade setup after trade setup after trade setup, please, there is a elite membership program. Now, let me ask you guys this. How many of you go out there and probably spend $6, $7, $10 a day on a cup of coffee, okay? Or even on lunch or more than that? You can join and become an elite member for simply $6.99 a month. That's all it is. What that gives you is the trade breakdown videos, the video playlist that I created, but also you get a great video that I covered on Market Structure 101. And I may do an updated one here in the near future. But you're getting tons of information, tons of valuable content that is not public on the actual YouTube channel. It's for those that are the members. Now, if you're interested, there's a link down in the description portion of the video. Now, it is it's part of the YouTube tier program. All right. So basically what you're doing is support my efforts as a content creator, and I'm giving you back perks and rewards as well. And that being For all those that want to become an elite member for $6.99 a month, again, you get the trade breakdowns, the video playlist, and that great video that I covered on market structure. The link is in the description, right below the Discord link. Become an elite member. Click on it. 2 tiers will pop up. Choose a second one for $6.99, and you get direct access. It has helped so many people out who watch that additional video content, because they can start to understand and start to see setup after setup after setup how this thing unfolds, and the strategy, how it unfolds, and how it actually works. So please do yourself that favor. Basically, I gave you a freebie here in this video right here, but if you want to see lots of more trade breakdowns, I recommend becoming an elite member. Okay. Outside of that, if you're not a current subscriber, please take the time to sub by clicking on that subscribe button right now. What are you waiting on? Make sure to turn your post notifications on so you don't miss an upload here on the channel. And last but not least, you see that little thumbs up button? If you don't mind, go ahead, click on it. Click on that like button right now. I definitely and greatly appreciate it. Until next week and into the next video, take care.